In this demonstration, we are going to take a look at a proposed solution for our kids. In this solution, field workers would be able to access a customized application for home visits utilizing Avoka's mobile field worker solution, which is part of Avoka Smart Form Factory. Avoka Smart Form Factory is an electronic form software solution that makes electronic and mobile data capture quick and simple, while providing benefits such as supporting the broadest possible range of computing platforms, including mobile devices such as the iPad, Android, and BlackBerry, enabling mobile data collection with or without a network connection, controlling the quality and consistency of data being captured in the field through the use of our intelligent data capture applications. So to start the demonstration, let's log into the Avoka Field Worker application. Now I have previously loaded the Field Worker application onto my iPad, so I'll slide my iPad into place here so we can see, and then I can simply click on the Field Worker application. I am then presented with a login because the application has got security built in, so I'll have to authenticate myself. So once I put my credentials in, hit OK, it's going to connect up, validate who I am, allow me to log into the application. So when I log in, you'll notice that it does a synchronization. So the synchronization is actually going to pull not only any forms that I may have access to, push any forms that I've been working on and have not been in connection to push up to the server, to push those back up, but it'll also assign items back down to me. So we can see here in the to-do list, I've got 2 items listed here that are for me to perform. So if I click on that, we'll be taken to the to-do sections, and I can see I have a home visit report that needs to be completed, as well as an ages and stages for this particular child. So if I open up the item, now we're going into the form that was created, or the data capture application, however you want to look at it, was created with Avoka Smart Form Composer. Now this form has been pre-populated, and so I know who the child is. I can see up on the top the home visit report for Emily Case here, and I can move through the different panels that are required for filling out. So this again pre-filled here for me. I can see the caregiver information. I've got a section here where I've got to-dos that are been tagged for this particular visit, so these could be coming from back-end workflows from our back-end system, as well as you'll notice down here I've got new follow-up items. So as I go through this home visit, I may take note to myself, or for whoever the next person is going to be coming out to do the visit for this child, to have items to follow up, and they'll show up inside of here. Okay, if we continue to navigate through the form. And again, you'll notice the form as we go through, we designed it to have navigation on the left so we can go, and then, you know, all the slide gestures that we'd expect on the device are there. And then I've got navigation buttons down here on the bottom. Again, this was all designed through Composer. So as the application designer, or the data capture application designer, you have complete control of how this should be laid out. Should the navigation be there on the left or not, top down, you know, however you want to set it up, you can do it. This is just one representation. Again, the information that we see here, again, came pre-populated from our back-end systems. But you know, if there's input that needs to be given or changed, that those fields can be opened up for edit for the field worker to do. And you'll also notice we've got some buttons down here on the bottom, the save, submit, and cancel. These are buttons. If I choose save, this is actually going to give native access to the storage on the device, so it's going to save it locally, so I can be in that complete disconnected mode as I'm working through items. And so if we move on in, we get to the next section, and now we're getting into really the meat of the questionnaire that we want the field worker to be walking through. But you'll notice as we go through the different sections, it's very much pointed and seems simplistic. And what I mean by that is really additional items won't show up until I say yes. So if yes here, okay, now I need to know more about, you know, the bruises and abrasions that were done. You know, if I come in and say, no, the child was not free, then I've got a whole other set of questions and explanations to be done. But if I say yes, in fact, I don't need to do any of that. So it just makes the data collection, more straightforward for the field worker, as well as cleaner data, and making sure that you get, all the information captured when you want it. Each one of these can have business rules about when it's required and not. And each one of these items can have workflows and alerts that happen as I submit back up. So if I said yes here, then I know I need to alert somebody, and emails can be fired, as well as workflows, and additional forms even can be assigned to people to fill out. So again, as I navigate through the application, I tried to navigate off. You can see here we're doing best practices are built into the applications that we create. So in this case, there's a required field here for me to fill in. I can see that I've got one section or one error, validation error here on the form. So I can put that in, move to the next. Actually, we'll just say yes on that one. If I move on out, I've now met all the requirements for that particular panel. I've moved down to the next, and you can see things like whether, okay, generally clean. Well, now I've got the description of what that really means. Maybe I look at it as the field worker and say, well, actually, I guess that would be well groomed in this case, and now I see the description for that. They can come through, check all the items that make sense. If they check certain things, again, dynamic. Okay, you said other, please comment on that particular piece. Take that off. They can move through the same, concept again here on any of these questions can be set up. So you basically build all the logic in to make sure that everything that needs to be asked is being asked and validated, into the form. Now when we come down to this last section, maybe there were a couple items that I wanted to put into play for the next visit. So I could come in. I could also put in a type. So I could maybe it's not the next visit. Maybe this to-do item should be done on a particular date. So I could choose the date that I want that to happen. You're going to get through date controls. So maybe this happens next month. Hit the set, or maybe I want it to actually be be chosen as the next visit, and then they'll just show up here on my form on the next visit going through, and I can add additional items, and so I could build as many of those in. So you can have this dynamic kind of feature and dynamic nature to the forms and applications as you're going through, as well as being able to delete items off and put things in. And again, all that can be done in the data collection application, which is really separated from the native, in this case, iPad application. Is kind of separated out. So I can make changes to the home visit report that we're looking at here and change questions, change business rules as needed, and not have to change my actual application. Okay, let's go ahead and exit out of this form. And let's go into our ages and stages, the other form that was assigned to us. So we come in, and again, what we're going to see this time is another form that was designed inside of Avoka Smart Form Composer. But in this case, we've got, again, all the data pre-filled for us. But as we scroll down, now we'll see this is actually a form that is very much more like a traditional form in the sense that it's top-down. I work from the top down and going through. So again, showing a different navigation. Now as we come into the communication section and I start answering the questions, I say yes here. And again, these are built for the type device. So perfect size for my finger to be able to do those kind of gestures. You'll notice over on the side, I'm actually having the scoring of the sections happening as well as the total for the section. So everything is being calculated in. You could hide that from the person who's filling in the form, but it's there to be able to do these type calculations and even route information or have additional forms or things pop up. Again, we can have images onto the forms as needed and allow that person to work all the way through the particular form. And then we see the same type of thing down on the bottom where we've got questions, and depending on what I say, say yes there, nothing required. If I say no, please explain, right? So all the logic that we're going to see and expect to have built into to the form to be an intelligent data collection application, they're all built in there. So all the validations, so we know all the fields that need to be filled out are filled out, and all the rules that are done. So drop out of this one. And then some of the other things that we'll see into the application that are built into it are things like submissions. So here's a home visit report that's been submitted. I can see when it not only was submitted onto the device, but when it was delivered up to the server, right? So again, in that complete offline capability to be able to work a form. If I go into a home without internet access, I can still fill out the form, do all the things I want, hit submit, and then when I get back into range, it'll auto sync up. Or if I get back into range and I want to force the sync, I can hit the button up here on the top, force my synchronization, and now we're going to be pushing data not only up to the server but back down to the tablet as things may be assigned to me as well. So one of the other things we want to highlight in this demo is the ability to take advantage of native device functions like the camera or the GPS and things like that, and utilize that inside of the application or in the data collection form that we have here for the home visit report. So you can see now on this form, I've extended it to have a button underneath the picture that we saw preloaded before with the Take Picture button. And so what I can do when I click the Take Picture button, what it's going to do is activate the camera controls on the device, and we can see those come up. I'm going to tilt this up so it may be hard for you to see on the screen cam here, but I'm going to take a picture so I can see myself here. So I take a picture and we can see that it's been captured on the device. I can say yes, that's the picture I want, save it, and then what we can see is you know, the camera is working with the data collection application that we've created in Composer, and we've stuck the picture in there. So this would allow us to do things like camera, take pictures of documents, again, use GPS, accelerometer, anything that we want, as well as even mapping capabilities, all the things that the device is going to have controls for, you'll be able to build into your applications. Okay, we've seen how Avoka Smart Form Factory and Field Worker application can assist our kids in creating data capture applications that can be taken offline, encompass all the security and encryption required, has assignment capabilities to field workers as well as workflow to back office workers. Yes, no, if then logic can be built directly into the application forms. Integration to the GPS and camera and other native application devices is available, all while being platform agnostic, right? So we don't care if you're running on Android, iOS, or BlackBerry, and for that matter, even on a web application as well. So everything that we do with the one design, we're going to be able to take out to those devices as well as web application as well. So again, we look forward to showing you how the applications can be built and how the separation of the logic from the actual native application can be done. So, which is also going to be a big benefit for our kids to be able to create and change the applications as needed and the business logic as needed without having to go through a large development exercise to do that. Thank you for your time today.